guys, this is Tarot with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, and today is the part 2 of my video that I created a few days ago called Improve Your Psychic Ability. The exercise I created was just one exercise in the many exercises that we can do to try and stretch our clairs. So clairs is just like a clear seeing. So for some of us, clear seeing could be clairvoyance. We could have clear seeing or clarity in hearing and just knowing something and feeling something, or holding on to an object and just knowing specifics about its origin or something about the object. Sometimes we have clear smelling, a sense of smell that kind of we smell in like cigarette smoke or cigar smoke or a perfume that seemingly comes out of nowhere. Clear taste, and there's probably other clairs that I don't even know, but I have said to post it in the comments below if you know those other clairs, because I'm always learning as well. So in the exercise that I posted, I believe this was on Friday, I had a necklace and earrings, which I had in this little box, and I asked people to comment on what they thought of this necklace and earrings. And I know the earrings are upside down, that's just how they fit in the box. And so I said that this was just a plated gold necklace and earrings. Did have real lapis lazuli in here, and it did indeed come in this little box, which is very special looking. I said that I wanted everybody to post in the comments below anything that they felt or saw. Maybe they looked out their window and they saw animals doing something weird, like birds acting interesting. So it was, maybe connected to the object, because we get our messages from all different senses in all different forms, and sometimes it comes in through nature or animals or whatever it may be. And so I really loved all the comments that came in. So I have my laptop open here, which is why I'm in the bedroom, and I'm going to read your comments and talk about how it connects to this. And I wanted people to feel like they were in a safe place, that I wouldn't say, oh, you're wrong, or or this person's more right or more psychic than you, because we're all on a different path. We're all in different places in our development. Some people, if they seem like a super psychic, well, they probably have been at it a long time. They probably have been practicing since they were very young. Like myself, like many of you guys, we may have had some abilities when we were younger, but maybe shut it off because maybe, influences from family, society, or maybe it was just really scary, and so we just kind of shut it down, and then maybe opened it up when we were much older. And so, and now we're just, kind of trying to hone things. And the more we learn about something, the less scary I think it is. And so I think it's very natural of us to have these quote unquote psychic abilities, because it's something that, animals have, and they do it, on a regular basis, like it ain't no thing, because it's just a part of us. It's just, we're all spirit inside. And so, that's just human nature. It's just the nature of the world. Let's go ahead and see how we did. Like, I think it was so interesting how, all of us we're so different backgrounds, how we interpret messages was really interesting. So, okay, again, this was the item, and the first person that commented was Rose. Rose said, ancestry, cultural heritage, New Age thrift store, and your father's side. Also someone passing away, but a happy, warm memory as opposed to sad and suffering. So, okay, so let's talk about this. So ancestry is interesting because I did buy this. So where I bought this was in Viterbo, Italy, and that's where I sang in an opera. And I was there for about 3 weeks. And so I do have some Italian heritage in there, and so ancestry had come up, so that I thought that was really interesting. When Rose had said my father's side, the Italian ancestry does come from my father's side. The Italian would actually be his grandfather, so his mother's father. And then something about someone passing away. Well, there was my aunt's mother was dying of cancer. And she didn't have much longer, and she had passed away while I was in Italy, and I really wanted to be there at her funeral. And you know, I saw her before I left, and she was Italian, and it was a pretty sad thing. So it's something that I do kind of think about when I do look at this, because you know, it did come from Italy, and I don't get to wear it very often, but yeah, she had passed away while I was there, the first week that I was there, and so that kind of bummed me out. So I both have happy memories and some sad memories of going to Italy. Okay, the next person to respond was Candy Locke, and Candy Locke said it was something that was worn at a ceremony, maybe a wedding or another occasion. It was passed down to you. 1940s and 50s came to mind. That's what I got. I'm thinking the whole passing down is more of an interpretation again of like heritage, like cultural heritage. So not necessarily something that was physically passed down, but that, you know, that passing down, that lineage. Again, me being, you know, part Italian and going to Italy, it did feel like a coming home. And I actually do have some pretty, like for whatever reason, interesting ties with the 40s and 50s. So I thought that was very interesting. And then it being worn at a special ceremony, I did wear it for one of my performances in Italy. And so yeah, that would be absolutely correct. Okay, so next we had Willow Wind the Thrifty Witch, and she said, I see an older woman with dark eyes and hair, maybe a streak or two of white. Her laugh makes her eyes twinkle. Her heart is warm and she is wise, playful. Lapis lazuli is my favorite stone. They say Egyptians used it for royalty to connect to their gods. Synchronicity is awesome. She said she just posted 3 videos in her Beginner Witch series about psychic ability. Definitely check it out, by the way. They're awesome. What it is and how to increase yours, so how cool. I've been researching today more about how to increase, and then she was asking if she could link my video and all that good stuff. And then she said she'd be doing another psychic ability video during the weekend. The grandmother who came through, it was interesting because although not connected to this person is connected to me. So I think that sometimes we just kind of like get a general impression of like what's going on around a person when we're connecting to energy. And so I brought a picture of the person that I was pretty sure that everybody that was commenting was connecting to. And this person here, her name is Lotta, and I did consider her like a grandmother, but she died at like 92 or 93 years old. She was pretty old, and she passed away, you know, a few years ago. And I absolutely do think that she's always hanging around me in that kind of grandmotherly form. And so yes, she did have dark hair, dark eyes. Of course, when she was older, it was gray, but and she had a wonderful laugh, a wonderful German laugh, just you know. And then talking about lapis lazuli being connected to ancient Egypt, well, I also have a very deep connection with ancient Egypt, and the translation of my last name is Egypt, so I found that fascinating as well. So my friend Debbie, Snoop Debbie Deb, she said she got a feeling of chocolate, love, grandmother, a ritual, and the ocean. So this is what she got off of the box and the jewelry. So what was interesting is I would say that I was tasting all the delicious sweets, mostly chocolate, when I was in Italy. So that would be where that would be coming from. Again, all connected to Italy. There is this love, you know, connection that I have for Italy, and I'm not quite sure, like it's just like kind of deep inside, like that's, you know, I felt really home when I was there. And again, the grandmother popping in again, I'm pretty sure that was Lotta. And the ocean, I really wanted to go to the beach while I was there, and a couple of the people in the opera were able to sneak off to the beach without me. I was pretty bummed, and I saw it actually when my plane took off from Rome, and you know, we started, you know, ascending, and as we did, I got to see all the little like umbrellas that were, you know, on the beaches as we passed over the beach, and I was like, man, I want to go to that beach, you know. So maybe next time I am in Italy. Then my homegirl Ayami Soryu said mostly words that came to mind were chocolate, celebration, gift, holiday, blue, regal, joy, sentimental, heirloom. Though when blue came to mind, I sense that there is a deep special meaning behind the blue or relating to the stone that is in the jewelry. It is a strong feeling that is personal and significant in a positive way, and she said it was hard to explain. So again, similar feelings coming through with the people that were commenting. So chocolate, again, you know, me enjoying the lovely sweets of Italy, which everything didn't really have a lot of sugar in it. So when I came back to, and everything was really flavorful, by the way. When I came back to the US, I was like, it was almost like gross, like all my favorite like sweets that I used to love before I left, and then it was like too much sugar. It was interesting. So I definitely miss my treats in Italy. Yes, there was celebration. You know, I got to sing in kind of like their little midnight little operatic performances. I got to do an opera at one of the big old churches there, because aren't they all old? And yeah, and I got to take some master classes while I was there and do some opera singing there. So it was really interesting. So it was definitely a celebration. This was kind of like the gift to myself, and this was I think the night before or 2 nights before I had to leave to go to Rome, where I stayed a day, and then I left to come back to San Diego. I kind of was on holiday while I was there, and then the blue of the lapis lazuli, for me, lapis is really special because it does to me connect to ancient Egypt, which is something that I've been into since I was a child. Like I've always loved ancient Egypt, and I have so many books on them. Like I've studied. I probably should have just become an Egyptologist, but yeah, that it does, and it is hard to explain even for me, like my connection to that. And then Grüneule, green owl, said she had one word, and that was showcase. And we quite literally did put on a showcase. And then Elaine McCrow had said that she saw flowers with the box, and with the jewelry she saw hands in a gentle hold, clasping each finger lightly, very caring and tender gesture. So that, you know, what I was getting with that, and you know, I just want to put as like, you know, people who are, you know, go to people who are, you know, considered psychic. I don't know. We have to do work as well, you know, interpreting the messages that are coming to us. We can't just like sit there and make another person do all the work and be like, oh, and this is what I see, and you know, and be like, oh, I don't understand that. You know, people have to do the work too to try and understand the meanings of the messages that are coming through. So what I was getting with that, I didn't actually get my friend who also is kind of like a grandma to me, Lotta. I was actually getting the mother of my aunt who had passed away while I was in Italy, with, you know, the flowers and the gentle hold and kind of like the, like, here you go. I think that she may have moseyed on through Italy since she had missed Italy so much, and she really wanted me to sing for her at her funeral. You know, that she maybe was there a little briefly and was like, yeah, you should get this for yourself. I think you should get this for yourself. And then Nerdy Tarot had also commented and said, hello, what a cool video idea. She said she's a little nervous, but that she would try and give it a go. She said her first impression of the object was a mother or grandmother, some sort of older woman, a familial connection. Again, that could have been Lotta, or it could have been my aunt's mother. It seemed to me like the box had a really heartfelt but kind melancholy vibe. That would be the super happy to be singing opera in Italy, but also sad at the same time that I was not there to sing or to be at the funeral for my aunt's mother, who, you know, she really liked me, I really liked her, and that really bummed me out. So it was both like it was like a bittersweet, you know, to be there. She's kind of like when an old scrapbook or something that you keep on a desk or a dresser in a closet. So I stopped there because I actually keep this on the box in a floor, in a little like cubby on the floor of my closet. So I thought that was interesting. She said something nice to remember, and you know, this is something that I find very nice to remember about Italy. But it can get left alone for long periods of time, and maybe it's a little sad. Yeah, it is. Almost like it's a memory of something that has passed. When you took it out of the box, I had a strange feeling like the jewelry was worn to show at one point, either by you or someone else. Something indoors like a play or a musical performance I put on in opera while I was in Italy. And those were my impressions. Anne said she was very interested to see what the reveal had to say. So yes, again, you guys are, it's all kind of different points of view and different ways of saying things, but basically you guys are all saying the same thing, which is really cool. And then Two Rocks Tarot, my homegirl over there, she said that she hadn't read any of the comments. She had to write hers up, and these are the words that came up before she saw what was held up. She saw grandmother, graduation, gift, roses, and chocolate. So there was like kind of like a breakthrough for me, like when I was in Italy, because you know, I wasn't somebody who went to college for music or reading music, and you know, so that was you know, I kind of like fell into opera, you know, with all these people that have been like studying music like forever. So I had to, while I was in Italy, while I was like doing the opera, like figure out how to, you know, look at, you know, tempo with like the conductor hand movements. And I had to get really good at like reading music, and it felt like a graduation. Like it was like, yes, I finally had made these breakthroughs in music, which was really cool. The grandmother, again, Lotta, or my aunt's mother. And then the roses and chocolate, you know, again, I'm seeing like maybe the roses being from, oh wow, maybe the roses being from my aunt's mother. And then who I actually used to love eating chocolate with was Lotta. So I'm like thinking like the Italian chocolate, but I'm thinking that's actually connected to Lotta. So that's interesting. Was this gifted to you or made to look like a box of chocolates? I think that maybe I was maybe pushed to get this for myself, so, you know, maybe kind of like a gift. I see you wearing this with a long slimline gown of the same color as the stones. I do have a gown that color. That wasn't the gown that I wore when I was there, but I get the idea. V-neck with silver gold edging, a slit at the front edge like the V-neck, hair up in a bun with a couple of wisps hanging down to frame your sunny face. You are very serious. Gosh, did you sing at a funeral? So, okay, so I did wear a gown when I was there. I had to, especially for the midnight performances that we put on. I really did want to have a nicer gown, but I wasn't told specifically what type of gown to bring. They just, I'll bring a long black gown that's like really like, you know, not too showy. And then I find out that they wanted everybody to look like really nice, like showy gowns, and I was like, what? So I was kind of bummed about that. My aunt's mother, who again was dying of cancer when I left, and she had me sing O mio babbino softly to her before I left, and she had told me to promise her to sing at her funeral because she loved my voice and she loved how I sang in Italian, and she said, at my funeral, I want you to sing O mio babbino caro, and I want you to sing Ave Maria, you know, because she was Catholic and she loved the Ave Maria, and she says, and I also want you to sing another song in Italian of your choice. So while I was in Italy, you know, and she had passed away, and I was so upset that I wasn't there to sing for her, I realized after like all the performances that we did that I actually did sing the songs that she had requested. You know, in one of my master classes when we did our final performance, I did sing O mio babbino caro, and everybody had said that it was the best I had ever sung. And I really was singing for her while I was there. In the opera that we put on, which was Suor Angelica, we did sing the Ave Maria at the opening of the opera, and then during the midnight performance that you know, everybody had their arias that they were singing, I did sing another Italian song. So I actually did end up singing the 3 songs that she had requested it just wasn't at her funeral. So I was hoping that she had heard wherever she was. Okay, she said she also gets the word Aztec after she wrote this out. I feel that you treasure these items and only wear them on special occasions. This is true. But the person who gave them to you, I feel, may be deceased or lives a distance from you and would like you to wear them more often, but I feel that you love them and it makes you feel sad as you miss the person who gave them to you. So that's, I think, getting like a mixture of feelings. So although it wasn't given to me, when I see this, I do miss that person. You know, I do miss my aunt's mom, you know, so I can see how, you know, people would get that kind of connection. And so when I do wear them, it makes me both happy but also sad at the same time, because it brings back a lot of memories. Plus, I also think that what's kind of like mixing up the energy is that Lata, who's always with me, is kind of like always in there as well. I see you sitting down at a round table in a kitchen, window to the right, which was usually open, with a white sheer curtain blowing into the breeze. Your fingers are circling around on the tabletop while you talk. I can't see the person opposite you, but I get the feeling of a small, round, hunched figure, elderly, always drinking tea in a favorite cup. Did they read tea leaves? I feel that you had many deep, wonderful conversations together. I get a feeling of peace, connectivity, and love. I am really pulled to your fingers. I feel that you have the same hands as a family member, and it is always commented on, but I think the other person bit their nails, or at the very least wish their nails were as strong as yours. Last of all, I feel that this person, if they are in spirit, watches over you. If they are alive, they watch over you from a distance. Distance is a word that keeps repeating. Perhaps this means something to you. And she said, phew, that's it. Now she was off to go watch everybody else's responses. And also that she feels that there is always a spirit looking over my shoulder, and sometimes I feel their hand on my left shoulder. Okay, so when she said the word distance, distance was the key. When somebody else, it was during the Dia de los Muertos party of one of my friends, everybody gets together, and he brings his friend Mary Street, who's a pretty good psychic, and she asks us to bring pictures of our loved ones, and she looks at each of the pictures and she tries to do a connection. I had actually brought this picture of Lata, and she said that, you know, she felt like she was my grandmother, and I was like, well, actually she was my friend, but yes, I would consider her a grandmother. And she said, it feels like you're so far away, like a distance. And I said, well, it had been, we would go long periods of time where I wouldn't, you know, call or talk to her because, you know, I'd be busy, or, you know, or she wouldn't, you know, be at her phone, or, you know, and sometimes she would lose my phone number, but we would always see each other, you know, during the German club events. And so for her, it's always like I was so far away, even though technically, physically, I wasn't that far away. And so that's how I know that the person that Two Rocks Tarot was picking up on was her. So Haley Morrison also commented, she said she got the feeling that it was passed down. Also Egypt for some reason. So again, family heritage connection to Italy, and then Egypt. Like I said, I have a deep connection to Egypt, plus it's how my last name translates, so that's always interesting. Hey, Jennifer Pearson also commented and said, I got masculine energy even before you showed it to us, but then Wally had walked into the room, and she also got, again, the masculine college or some sort of academic setting and shyness. So yes, the masculine energy, of course, probably was Wally, who was in the video if you go back and watch the video. But the whole academic setting, I had gone to Italy with the International Lyric Academy. So yes, it kind of was an academic setting, and, you know, and through them we had these master classes. We put on, you know, the performance for the people in the city of Viterbo, and we also put on an opera in one of the churches there, you know, for the people of the city to come and watch. And so yeah, so it kind of was an academic setting, and I was feeling a little shy because I was a little out of my element, because I was surrounded by so many people who were just so good at music, meaning reading music, knowing like the tempo changes, and knowing, you know, all of this. And me, I just like singing, and I'm good at singing, but I didn't really know as much of the like intricacies of like what's written on the page of music as everyone else. So I was a little bit shy while I was there. Teal Nebula says, I don't know if this belonged to your grandmother, but I get a very grandmother energy from this. Love and happy memories with them. Again, there was 2 elderly women that I think are kind of surrounding the energy of this necklace because of my metaphorical connection to it. And then Lorelei said that she got a few words: chocolate, hair, water, and keys. She thinks she's rubbish at this stuff. You are not. Everybody needs practice. Everybody is at different levels of their psychic development. And I think you're right on par with everybody else, Lorelei. So yes, again, chocolates could be hey, this is latte here, you know, when we connect to the chocolates, or the fact that I really loved the chocolates when I was in Italy. And then hair, water, and keys. The water was interesting because I loved the water in Italy because they had like the potable and non-potable fountains, and so there was the potable where you could like just fill your water bottle, and it was cool, like a natural water just coming out of the ground, and they had these fountains all over the town, and I just thought it was the best water in the world. So like I was talking about the water when I came back, so that's interesting. And everybody did comment on my hair because while I was there, because well, I do have really long hair, and so that was like something that the people in town were commenting on, and so they thought that I was also either like from Italy, like I was actually like Italian full blood, or they thought that I was from Greece or that I was from Spain, but they were like, there was like no way they thought that I was from America, so just because of my hair. So I thought that was interesting. All right, and then Neum Celtic Mist said that she was getting love, deep happiness, travel, and Greece. So yes, again, deep love for the place that I was at, plus also the spirit energy that's connected to me and this, also the deep love. And then Greece, well, I was in Italy, but you know, there were quite a few people that thought I was from Greece, which was interesting. And then the final person that commented was Crystal Mama. She was talking about like sometimes how she gets her messages, and you know, and sometimes it freaks people out, but I think that's just because people don't understand a lot about you know, this arena of study, but I think the more we learn, and eventually when science catches up, it's gonna be like no big thing in the future. But she says that she connects with animals, and that they communicate with her, and she was getting an older person with arthritis because her hands were tingling, and in the necklace she saw a cat's face. And she says she has a deep connection, a strong connection with Siamese energy, because Siamese have very strong energy, and so she liked that you know, when Wally was in the room, she was also connecting to his energy, and that he knew that he was really handsome, and he wanted me to pet him, which he gets lots and lots of pets and belly rubs. I mean, they're like not spoiled at all. I think what was also interesting, because there is another little spirit that kind of walks around our home, and that's the spirit of our old cat Presley, and so I'm pretty sure she was seeing Presley's face in here, who was also a Siamese. I would say possibly a lot stronger energy than Wally, and a lot more of a presence. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. And my friend Lotta did have quite the arthritis in her fingers. They were all kind of like gnarled, and I could say it could also be my actual grandmother, but I always feel like Lotta's energy is around me more than my actual grandmother. So I thought that was interesting. All right, so that's it, you guys. I thought this was great. I think everybody did fantastic, and I would say don't shy away from doing exercises like this. You know, I think that this was a good, safe setting where you could just try and, you know, and see how your messages were similar or just interpreted differently just based on your background, you know. So, but I think everybody can see that basically the messages were very, very similar, just coming across a little bit differently, and then me me as the person receiving the messages, you know, then it's my job to kind of sleuth and figure out what do these messages mean. And that's how it should be. You know, people shouldn't just, you know, go to a psychic or go to a doctor or go to something and say, okay, now you tell me, and I'll just be, you know, this passive person taking in this information. No, the person, the patient, the person receiving whatever treatment or info needs to also do the work as well. And that's kind of how I think it should be. So if you guys want more videos like this, just let me know. I'll try maybe, you know, if you're interested, once a month or so, I'll do like a little, you know, psychic exercise for us to do. So I thought it was fun, you know, and it seemed like everybody else was enjoying this too. So I thank everybody that commented on my beautiful jewelry. Maybe I will try to wear this more. Yeah. And I will catch you guys later. If you guys want to catch a reading with me, I do have mediumship readings, but I have like tarot readings, scrying, like all sorts of things. Just head on over to www.kittenswaitsandtarot.com and check that out. And don't forget to join my KWT tribe over at patreon.com/kittenswaitsandtarot, where we are creating more and doing more for you guys while my Patreon peeps get freebies in the process. And I appreciate each and every one of them. And if you dug this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, don't forget to click subscribe, and don't forget to click that ding 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 notification bell for more videos just like this. And I'll catch you spiritual homies later. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out. Bye.